everybody, welcome in. We've got a brand new show this week. It is Tuesday in August, and we have got an incredible PC to build for our friend Aiden in Ohio. I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX, and joining me live from our studios in Wichita, Kansas, our lead technical expert, Paul Steffens, and our master builder, Zach Killingsworth. Gentlemen, how's your August going?
Oh, yeah.
It's going good. It's cooling off.
We're gonna have a
we're getting hotter. Apparently, you sent your garbage weather to me, and yeah, I'm going from. It's going to be in the hundreds for a week.
Ooh.
And
yeah,
I say this,
here.
you know, my people melt.
Baby.
That's why they call me vanilla. All right, we got a great project for Aiden. What are we going to be putting in this brand new, beautiful NV7?
All right, so going inside of this, starting out with our processor, we've got the Intel Core i7-14700KF. To cool that, we've got our CLX Quench 360 AIO in white with the RGB pump. For our motherboard, we've got the ASRock Z790 Steel Legend Wi-Fi. For our memory, we've got 2 sticks of Corsair 24 gig DDR5 6000 speed in black with the RGB heat spreader, so a total of 48 gigs of memory in the system. For our storage drive, we have a 2 terabyte ADATA 800 gold NVMe drive. For our video card, we're going to be using an RTX 5070 from PNY. We got 12 case fans going inside of this NV7, so we got the GameDS Aeolus M2 fans in white. Yeah, this thing's going to be breezy.
There's a full 4 on the back?
At least, yeah.
343, baby.
343. Yeah.
What?
And then
That's now called Halo Studios.
Yeah. We've got our 1300 watt GameDS Helios power supply, 80 plus gold. Yeah. Start getting these panels off and be good to go.
So, one thing to notice here on the show today, we've got all sorts of fun happening, and if you have questions about something that we say or a term that is used, please let us know. Ask away. If you have questions about your own personal build, let us know, because that is fantastic, and we love it. I know a lot of you are here, and you're wondering about, hey, where might be the codes? Well, the codes will be released in chat over here on Twitch side, which will be grand. And you can find codes not just here on Tuesdays on Twitch. You can find us on Thursdays on TikTok. Also get some codes. You can also check out our social media. That is going to be obviously YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at CLX Gaming to find out if there's a code that's released there. You may even find one in our Discord at discord.gg/CLX Gaming, and you will always find one from me on my stream at DJ Blue PDX on Twitch. So there we go. That's how we go. So if you have questions, please let us know. Just what you guys give out a code. Yes. So yeah, and I'll be giving out a code today later on my stream after this show ends. That will be while I'm playing Warhammer 40k Dark Tide. I've been loving Dark Tide. It's like the zombie-esque version of Vermintide, and I dig it.
That's what's up.
I dig it a lot.
Played some
we finally got
tabletop
the Heresy
this weekend.
How was that?
Dude, it was awesome.
Ooh,
Lots of rules.
God.
It was great. I'm going to do it again this coming weekend.
Have you selected your army?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be the Dark Angels.
Nice.
Space Marines. Because Space Marines are the best.
Space Marines.
But now it's like, all right, time to
see.
go to the bank, get a loan for the investment in my minis.
There we go. Real quick, NGC 5011 mentions over here on Twitch says, I'm building my own PC, but the only thing that scares me is putting in my CPU. Well, I'm going to tell you what, NGC, we're about to solve that problem for you. So it's the same whether it's an AMD or an NVIDIA. NVIDIA, good God, DJ. It's AMD or Intel. It's the same process. So, as you can see, we've got this beautiful motherboard. The motherboard we're going to be looking at and using is going to be an ASRock Z790 Steel Legend Wi-Fi. Watch Zach and see what... Yes, absolutely. Average Potato says they should make putting CPUs on easier. All right, first things first. Let's talk about all the connectivity in the back. Starting at the very top, we've got our HDMI and our display port, which is actually fabulous, next to our 2 antennas. Then you've got your oh no, that's down below. I love how they don't put it in order. There's one USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A port. That's a 10 gig port, by the way. 10 gig. There's also a USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type C port, which is also 10 gigs up, 10 gigs down. There are 8 USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports. Those are 5 gigs up and down each of them, and they also do fast charging. You've got your RJ45 LAN, which I think is a 2.5?
2.5.
2.5 gig. And then you've got your audio jacks and your SPDIF down at the bottom. Now, for those of you who are watching and wondering what we do with this, I'm going to go ahead and explain this, and Zach's going to help me walk through it. First of all, what we're putting in this, before you put it in, Zach, just hang on. What we're putting in this thing is a Core i7 14700KF. Paul, tell me about this processor.
This is a 20-core, 28-thread processor. So you've got 8 performance cores that have hyper-threading on them. And then you also have 12 efficiency cores alongside that. It does have a base speed of 3.4, and it will boost all the way up to 5.6. So great gaming processor here. So
NGC5011, I'm going to let Zach explain to you how to make installing a CPU easy. Zach, go ahead.
Alrighty, step 1. We have our processor and we are looking at it and we can tell which corner is keyed. The key is a little gold triangle. And then we are looking at our motherboard and we're also looking for that key for the triangle. It's usually silk screened on the motherboard or on this little proc cap. So it's down in this bottom left-hand corner. Same with our proc is in the bottom left-hand corner. We want to open up the clam and just match that triangle up, and that's going to be the same on AMD or Intel processors. They all have that key in one corner. Our motherboards have the key silk screened on them, and then we just set it, lock it in place.
Pop it, drop it, lock it, and go. There we go. It's kind of like a Britney Spears dance routine. So, all right. Now we've got our brains in our system. That's obviously an Intel Core i7 14700KF. Paul, real fast as we're getting the frames put on. Can you explain what the difference is between like a 14700, 14700K, and a 14700KF?
Good question. So those are different models of the 14700. So the 14700 base is going to have different speeds, and it's not going to be able to be unlocked for overclocking. The 14700K, the K means unlock, so you can't overclock it, and then the F means that there is no onboard video. So whether it's a F or a KF, as long as that F's in there, you will not get onboard video, which in a gaming PC most of the time is fine. You're going to have a video card that you're getting your video from anyways.
Let's see here. Temperance mentions, yeah, like watch that and see how it's done. They should make putting CPUs in easier. And so Temperance responded with, it's actually pretty easy to just line up the God mark on the CPU to the mark on the motherboard. It's legit. We'll just slip right in, slot right in. Either way, agreed. Having done that a couple times. And I did it successfully without bending any pins, which is shocking.
Yeah, the processor is definitely the scariest part of the build, but once you get used to it, it's just fine. And you're right, Temperance, the AMD CPUs, the pins are on the motherboard now, so both are pretty much installed in the same way.
Speaking of things you install in the same way, let's talk about what Zach just squirted on the processor.
Thermal paste. This is how we cool off our processor. All of the heat that this little teeny chipset produces goes into that thermal paste and then onto this copper plate.
So the copper plate is part of the apparatus that you saw Zach putting on the back side of the motherboard. Now this is an AIO. This is how we're going to cool our CPU, and it's going to be through liquid. Paul, what are the different ways we can cool a processor?
So you got air and you got liquid. Air is like the block of metals that you all have seen with fins cut into them and a fan on top. There's base level ones to really high-end aftermarket ones for air coolers. And then on the liquid side, you've got an AIO like what we're using here, which stands for all-in-one. So this comes out of the box ready to go. There's already coolant in it. You just install the right set of hardware that matches your motherboard and you're good to go. And the other liquid option is if you're going with like an open loop system where you're adding in your own fluid. Typically you're gonna have a reservoir, pump, distro plate on some builds, and you can do hard or soft tubing on those. Most of the time you see them done in hard tubing, they just look better. we do offer that as well. We've actually been building a ton of those recently.
If I could get the distro plate version with the Oracle print,
Like
that would be my new my new streaming PC. I swear to God. You said honestly, it makes sense to have them on the motherboard versus the CPU. I agree. Like when I had them on the CPU, woo, that was rough. But also, I wasn't paying attention to the little diagonal, little pointers. So I try to push it in like it's not falling in. And of course, I fall prey to the, Murphy's Law style of things. If it jams, force it. If it breaks, it needed replacing anyways. As opposed to, hey, if it's not fitting, it may be user error. Let's see here. NGC asks, is it hard to put liquid cooling in your PC?
No,
if it's an AIO, it's easy as hell. If you want to do an open loop where it's custom bent tubes, I'm going to let these guys explain it.
Yeah, like what DJ said, if you're doing an AIO like this for your liquid cooler, easy, you can do it, even if you've never done it before. Now the open loops where you're bending tubes and doing that, they do have soft tubing options, which does make installation easier. But if you're doing your video card, you're still going to be taking the cooler off your video card and installing it on there. I will say that's probably something you definitely want to have help with if you're doing it for the first time.
Paul, just for a quick point of clarity, and NGC, AIOs are a great option because they don't require you to add or take out anything. Paul?
Yeah, these come out of the box, coolant already inside of here. There's no way, I mean, if we pulled hard enough, we could get these hoses off, but there's not like a way to disconnect those in a way that you should. So I've been using the same 360 AIO in my build for at least like 8 years. So yeah, these are a great option.
Yeah, I've got a push-pull on mine. But let's talk about what the RAM we've got. And the RAM is kind of like the consciousness. This is how everything functions from the actual CPU. And this is going to be two 24 gig sticks of Corsair DDR5 6000. That is 48 gigs. 48 gigs. Got some RGB on it, and it's fantastic. Let's see here. CX Angelo over here on Twitch mentions, by the way, first message, welcome. Hi, how are you? The message says, hello, I want to build my own PC in a few months, and I'm still in the parts section process. I'll mainly use my PC for gaming and engineering conception tasks, with programs like SolidWorks, MATLAB, etc. I was thinking of getting an i9-14900K with an MSI 5070 TIOC GPU. Is it a good combo to have? And I was thinking to use an MSI Z790 Ace Max motherboard, but is there similar options that I should explore? Good question.
So yeah, that's a great question. Welcome, Angel. So that is a good setup for what you're doing now. The high-end i9 processor, that's going to help a lot with those engineering and conception tasks that you're talking about. And the 5070 is going to do great at gaming. So you've got a good build there. As far as your motherboard, going with the Z790 Ace Max, you can definitely do that if you want. It's a great motherboard, but it does come with a lot of features for like overclocking and stuff like that. So if you're not interested or not planning on doing those overclocking stuff, you could save a few bucks and you don't need to go like all out on the motherboard there. Still get a Z790, but you don't need to go all the way up to Ace Max if you're not planning on using any of those extra features.
Paul, if he's wanting to do some engineering and concept tasks, how much memory modulars should we have on that build?
Ooh, yeah, you're probably going to want a lot of memory. So I would say base 32 gigs, and then if you can go up to 64 or even more than that, do that. There are 48 gigabyte sticks now, so you can.
I'll say 96 or 120, but
yeah. Yeah, maybe go down a model on your motherboard and use that to spend on some more RAM.
Speaking of things that we're going to ram into stuff, we're going to put in our storage device today, and that is a 2 terabyte ADATA 800, I was thinking tequila, 800 gold NVMe M.2. Now this is going to slide right into the board. As you saw, Zach actually removed the heat shield from it, and I would love Zach to explain how this works, why it's important.
Yes, so with our storage devices here, most motherboards today will have a heat shield above it. What we want to do is pull that off and remove the peel on our thermal pad. This is essentially the solid version of the liquid paste. And it helps to transfer the heat that this could possibly produce into a nice little heat shield that a fan can blow through and get all that heat out of the system.
Love it. I also love just the color design on this thing. It's very black, white, stormtrooper level awesomeness. But the darkness really creates a nice juxtaposition once you get it all installed in the system between the lighting, the light, and the dark. It is a fantastic balance. Oh, there's an interesting question. Temperance mentions that said, I would go with the better card personally, mainly because you are using the top of the line CPU and the GPU is more bottom tier so it could end up bottlenecking. What is bottlenecking and how accurate is that?
So for gaming, yeah, I would say you do have a slight bottleneck there with the i9 14900K and the 5070 Ti. And bottlenecking means when you're in the gaming environment for this specific thing, for this specific set of hardware, you're not going to be getting like the full use out of your processor because it's going to be held back by your GPU. Now the 5070 Ti is still a great card for gaming. It's solid, but yeah. Temperance is not wrong in thinking there might be a bottleneck there for gaming. Now maybe you just need the highest end processor for those engineering tasks, so you don't really need it when you're gaming, but that's up to you.
Here we go. GG, Temperance. Look at Temperance being all on top of things today. I love it. Okay, so now we're getting this all screwed on. And the next thing we've got to do is we've got to be able to cool the radiator. The radiator is, code time. Mafia IYDJ. Oh, if you're DJ, that's how it is. Yes. Indigo Yankee Delta Jammer. That is going to be your code. That's fantastic. That's going to be worth, the Mafia codes are worth 200 extra entries into the system. You're going to love it. It's fantastic. All right. And there we go. Congratulations. That is awesome. I was going to say that, so once you get your AIO or your cooler on, you have to figure out how you're going to cool the liquid that's in there. And you do that by adding fans to it. So there are different ways of attaching the fans. There are some preferable ways, and there are some less than optimal ways. Paul, what are that? What are that? What Jesus?
I understood you, DJ. So when you're attaching fans to your radiator, most of the time you're just going to have fans on one side. So you're either going to do the push method or the pull method, and that was referring to the way the air is going to flow through the radiator. So we have these fans set up to where they are pushing air through the radiator, which is more optimal than having it pull air through. Now there are some cases where you have to set your AIO up in a way where you are pulling air through, and that's okay. It's just not as efficient as pulling air through, or pushing air through, excuse me. And then if you have room in your case and room in your budget, you can put fans on both sides and do a push-pull.
So what is the advantage of a push-pull? Because I have a push-pull. I have 6 fans on a 360 radiator.
The advantages of a push-pull are going to be just increased cooling on your CPU. It does make a pretty big difference. It depends on your processor and what you're doing with it, but you can notice like a 5 to 10 degree difference by having a push-pull versus just a push. So it does make a difference on keeping your CPU cool.
And I'll be very honest, I was playing the Battlefield open beta over the weekend.
How was that?
First time I've ever seen. Oh my God! First of all, Battlefield's gonna be wicked.
I kept getting the
had so much fun. I get crashed a bunch, but
I kept getting the secure boot error. I can never get it to launch.
Yeah, that is a thing. That's like if you've got Windows 11, on your system, you should be fine.
See, I'm rocking Windows 10, but my buddies that had 11 were getting the same thing. So I was like, it's beta, so this is probably like to be expected. But
it's part of their new anti-cheat system. So definitely, we may need to teach a class on UEFI or IEFU. EIFE.
R-E-S-P-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-C-T.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Vibing out.
It's bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. It's bananas.
A bit of Gwen going on.
This is bananas.
You learn how to spell so much.
Learn how to spell independent because that one song.
Miss Independent.
I don't
Is
know.
that the wrong song?
It's not that one,
No.
but that could be it. It's that.
Is that Kelly Clarkson? Who's that? Is that Clay Aiken?
Clay. Clay Aiken. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that was. I forgot that was a person.
What?
Clay Aiken. Did he
Wow.
win?
Yeah.
Did he win
I
American
don't know.
Idol? Or was he just a
There's
runner-up?
only 3
Holy-
people in American Idol.
Yeah.
Kelly Clarkson,
Clarkson.
Clay Aiken,
And
what's
William
his
Hung.
face? Simon
Oh, Simon Cowell.
Simone. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
There we go.
I just
The
think
one
of
thing
that
I will
William
say about
guy.
it
He
is
sung
that
really bad.
I discovered. Oh God, that one guy was terrible. There's a bunch of them that were terrible. I will say this about it. I did discover that sometimes what you want your role to be isn't necessarily what your role should be. I went for assault for the first, 10 or 15 games, but I was terrible at shooting. So I flipped over to be a support medic. And the support medic is fantastic because I can just flip over to my paddles. I don't have to stand over them to actually shock them. I just walk them and go, "Brup." So I will sprint across the firing area. Just, "Brup, brup, brup, brup." I think the most I've got 28 revives in one game.
War zone right now.
All right.
I hope the stream
Angelica
got that.
I
Angel.
did too.
Angelo says, thanks for the input. If I go with the i9 CPU, what GPU would be enough to avoid bottleneck? Let's say I go with a 5070 GPU. What CPU would be a good match for it?
So CPU for a good match for the 5070 Ti is going to be something like an i7 or Ryzen 7. Now you probably want that if the i9 is within your budget, you probably want that more for your engineering tasks than you do gaming. Gaming, as far as i7, i9, you're not going to notice a huge difference there. There definitely will be some, but not huge. But the difference will be seen on those engineering tasks. So I would say go up to at least a 5080 when you're rocking like the top end processor. Obviously, you kind of want to go with the top end, like a 5090 or something like that. But I would say go up to a 5080 if you want to avoid the bottleneck. If you can go higher than that, do it. But I know that can get pretty pricey.
Yeah. Okay, now here's what we've got a fun thing. We've got a case in here, and the case is really going to be actually fantastic. And so this is the MV7. We first saw the MV7, I think, a couple of years ago at PAX East, and we were all just like, what? That's crazy cool. So let's talk about some of these features that the case has. So for starters, as you can see from this shot, you'll notice that the back is higher than the front. So there is a little bit of gap in the front, but it's got a much bigger access for airways coming into the machine. As you'll also notice that the fans on the bottom are angled. They're not blowing straight up. So the reason for that is it creates what's called a vortex. The tempered glass is meant to help dissipate heat. As the airflow rolls up around it, you're cooling off the window while providing air to the GPU and causing it to circulate. You got your 4 fans in the back, which are pushing it like this, and then you have, wait for it, 2 exhaust fans, 2 on the back of the machine, which are fantastic. And it creates this, it pulls the heat out so fast, it's unbelievable. So that's one of the things I love about it. The other thing I love is the custom, what are they called? It's custom Velcro straps for the cable management, which I know Zach loves. So, Paul, what can you tell me that's amazing about this case?
Just the size of it, really. It's an awesome looking case. Plenty of room in the back, like you mentioned. The power supply goes up top, so there's plenty of room if you got a really large power supply for it to go up there. I really like the lighting elements in this thing. There's some RGB lights that go around the motherboard tray, and then you can sync up your fans.
Yes.
There's like a whole RGB board inside the case that everything syncs up to, which is really nice.
Let's see. El Pro says, can I have this PC? I want this PC for competitive Marvel Rivals. Well, unfortunately, you can get this PC. You just have to build it and order it. This is for Aiden in Ohio, so this is already spoken for. Yeah. Now, as you're getting your motherboard in, I just want to... Can you point out the stops again? The little... the nubbins?
The standoffs?
Yep. The standoffs. Standoffs are required for mounting your motherboard, and you've got to make sure you've got the right standoffs in the right place so that they aren't missing a hole. Paul?
So the standoffs, yeah, they're what separate the back of the motherboard from the case itself. This is a really good shot so you can see how there's a little bit of gap there. And we want that because the motherboard tray is obviously metal, so we don't want that touching the back of our motherboard and causing it to short out. So very important to have those standoffs in the right location. If you're missing one, it's okay, but having an extra one in a spot where there isn't a motherboard mounting hole is not good.
Ah, there we go. You should have left off with, "It's my birthday!" Yes, there we go. So, okay, and this is also a great shot because you can see the power shroud, the power supply shroud, and I'll let Paul point that out real quick.
That'll be this area right here.
That's that big thing. Now, why is that important to have? How does that help the system?
So this overall, it just gives us a cleaner aesthetic. You don't see the cables coming out of the power supply, but it also gives the power supply its own bay for intake and exhaust. So it's going to get air in from the backside and then shoot it out the rear. Like most things.
Yes. El Pro mentions, you guys, there's a CLX giveaway with AMD. Yes, there is. And if you want to click that link that I just posted, you will be able to find new and different ways of getting that through, including using your codes. I'm excited because today I've got a raw code with 50 extra entries. It's going to be a lot of fun on stream.
Ooh.
What case is this, asks Mari. This is an NV7. It's a raw, CLX raw NV7 by Fantex. I really do love this board in this case. The other thing that I love about this case is, as you can see, there are two big rubber grommets that are relatively solid, with the exception of the fact you can put cables through them. I like it because in some other PC cases, the grommets are still black, but these made it all white. Super impressed. Super impressed. Okay. So now, as we can see, Zach's kind of routing fan cables into the system. So when it comes to mounting this and being conscious about the proper way to do cable management, what is some advice you could give people who might be looking to do this for the first time?
Yes, so if you watched how we set it up at the beginning, all of the fans went in before on those trays before we installed the motherboard. That's kind of a helpful hint of a tips and tricks for this case. If we were to go ahead and install our motherboard and our liquid cooler, this 4 stack of fans would be a little bit difficult to get installed. So just kind of thinking about that beforehand is pretty helpful to just know where we want stuff laid out at.
There you go. There we go. There we go again. Let's see here.
Chasing through the wind.
I don't even know who sings that, but I know that song.
No, you're wrong. Safari does allow it. I just did it on my MacBook Pro. So, yep, click the link. Get in the game. Let's go. And then also make sure you join the Discord as discord.gg/CLX Gaming. Oh, yes. I have been thinking about rewatching Pirates of the Caribbean. For some ridiculous reason.
Does sound
The series or
ridiculous.
the movie?
What do you mean?
Just watch the
movie
first movie
series.
or the series? Okay.
Oh, no, if you watch the first one, you got to roll all the way through.
Well, do you?
I don't think they're
Well,
that
You
good.
could
I don't know if
just
you know the
finish on a
the
high
history of it.
and just, you know,
They
just...
filmed the first 2 films back to back.
That's my
That's
hot
why
take,
the sets.
Zach. You had a hot take the other week. I forget what it was on. What you were on, but yeah, I don't really think Pirates of the Caribbean was that good.
You really don't, huh?
Yeah, it was all right.
I liked it better than the one in the 50s.
I didn't even know there was a Pirates of the Caribbean in the 50s. That's probably back when their pirates were actually a real thing.
Maybe it wasn't named Pirates of the Caribbean. It is what it was based off of.
What was that,
But
Captain Hook?
the Pirates of the Caribbean had a cartoon, and everything way back in the day, and that's where the ride came from at Disneyland and Disney World. First one is 22 years old, 2003. Listen, yeah, the way movies were made in 2003, this works. Does it age well? Who knows? Speaking of films and
government
things,
cheese, it always ages well.
that is not true. There's no, the government cheese is never offered in Gouda or aged Swiss.
Oh, it's aged all right.
Oh yes, called Velveeta.
Ooh, the good stuff. Do a
Yikes.
block of Velveeta with a can of Rotel. Got yourself some good dip right there.
You want to make it better?
Accurate.
Add you a can of cream corn.
Cream corn. Ooh, okay.
But what you want to do is you want to drain the juice from the Rotel, and you use the cream from the corn as your cream for.
Oh, that sounds good.
Everything
corn
you just
queso?
said makes me want to actually lose more hair.
What? This is how we do it in the Midwest. You get that
Yeah, you
Rotel
said
and
cream
Velveeta.
corn. I'm like, abso-freaking-lutely not. Can I add you on Discord? You can just go ahead and hit up the Discord and just join it at discord.gg/CLX Gaming, and then you can ask your questions there in the general chat. Jimmy, yo, what's up, Jimmy? He says, what's the difference between gold, platinum, titanium in PSUs? I'll pass in the cream corn too. There you go.
Good question, Jimmy. So the gold, platinum, titanium, all that stuff is the 80 plus rating, which is the efficiency rating of the power supply, which means how much power it's pulling out of the wall versus what your PC is using. So it's not really a big deal as far as gaming. It's not going to get you more frames or better gaming performance by having a titanium over a gold. It just means that your system's going to be more efficient. So the people that really care about these efficiency ratings are going to be the Bitcoin miners, crypto miners, all that good stuff. I don't know if people are still mining Bitcoin or not, but all that stuff where you need your system to be power efficient, that's what it is.
Did you say Bitcoin?
No, Bitcoin.
Oh, Bitcoin. Sorry, I misunderstood. I was gonna be like, that's not appropriate, Lance. Noble
There's
Hormel,
probably a
Chili, and
crypto called that,
Velveeta.
though.
Well, yeah, there should be.
Hormel, chili, and Velveeta? Okay. Cat Dad must be from up north. That sounds tasty,
I
but I
don't-
haven't heard of that.
I don't
That's
think
what
I've
you do
had
at the
canned
bottom
chili
of the
in
bottom
ever- in
of the
ages.
bowl. The bottom of the queso bowl. If you add it too soon, then you can possibly ruin your queso. This being said, I wasn't known for anything in high school, but the football team enjoyed my queso.
Hell yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. They always found out whenever our homeroom was doing a queso party, because we were a Spanish homeroom.
Yeah.
Senorita D. And we would always just have parties like every Friday, and just for no reason. And they would always come in and be like, I need extra Spanish lessons. I'm like, no, you just want some
that queso.
chips and dip, dude.
We're big wolf chili. If we're going to buy canned chili, we do the wolf chili.
Yeah, you're not Manning's.
Yeah. But the wolf chili has oats in it. Did you know that?
Okay.
It has rolled oats.
Huh.
I was wondering because I was eating some. I'm like, what is this white stuff in here that I would see every now and then? I'm like, rolled oats. I didn't know they put that in chili, but they do.
Yeah.
Cat Dad's from Arkansas. Okay. Not up north like I thought, but still counts as Midwest. Would you count Arkansas as Midwest or South? Maybe a little bit of both.
I call it
Arkansas
problematic.
South.
That's South. Okay.
First of
where
all,
all
people
my
keep calling it
family's from.
Arkansas. It's Arkansas. Arkansas. It's literally how it's spelled. There's no way that you can make SAS equal saw.
We can't spell things
Like-
how they're spelled, or else we'd say.
Phonetically, there is no
DJ.
way in the English language
There.
SAS equals saw. Also, we've got a code out here, and that's going to be CLX Raw-PQWZ. That's Papa Quebec Whiskey Zulu. That is going to be your next code worth 50 extra entries. Thank you, Ivory, from that. And again, there's no way that SAS equals saw. You find me another example of that in the English language anywhere.
There.
Do you know why? The people who founded that state couldn't write or read.
What do we want next?
Technically, neither could I. All right. AR Kansas, because everybody gets an AR. Get it? Uncut Chain says, is there a difference in performance in 4 832 gigs or 16 230 gig? What? Or 232 gigs of RAM?
Good question. So yes, there is. Now the 4 8s are going to perform better than 2 16s, assuming you got the same capacity and same speed. However, I don't think it's super noticeable in game, so I would always opt for the less amount of the 2 sticks versus the 4 sticks, just so that you've got room to upgrade in the future.
Yeah, I ended up going with 4 16s, but now my slots are full. So if I'm going to upgrade, I have to replace all 4 of those and go to 32s. And then do 4 32s to get 96. No, 4 32s is 128.
Yeah.
Something like that. I have to think. That's the way it has to be, because that's the way I like it. Temperance Bench says, I thought DDR5 preferred less sticks and DDR4 was better with more.
I don't think it's just based off generation like that. I think AMD processors work better with more sticks. But it's been a while since I've done any like mem testing since like DDR5 came out, because it's just so fast now. Haven't really ran into any issues.
The minute we're like, oh my god, this is awesome, there's already something new next day. Like, okay, well, fine. Jimmy mentions, okay, DDR5 platforms is running 4 sticks off game. RAM is still having issues. Well, while Paul thinks about that, let's talk about the real issue here with what's in its hand, and that is going to be our GPU. This is an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070. It is a 12 gig card. What else can you tell me about it, Paul?
So triple fan model from PNY, solid gaming card here from NVIDIA. We'll get this open and get all the peels off and all that good stuff. I believe it's going to have 3 DisplayPort and 1 HDMI for our outputs.
Yes, it does. I do like that they're starting to standardize what the outputs are. Like, the end of my graphics card is totally different than that. It doesn't just have the 4 spots. There are 5 plus the USB-C.
Okay, yep.
So double HDMIs and the rest are all DisplayPort. Crazy.
Do you do
Yeah,
VR stuff, DJ?
Yeah, Elpro, that's you. Not sure why you can't go to link, but it works on every browser I've just tested it on. So you do have to enter the giveaway to be able to win it. That is true.
Oh, you know how awesome it would be to do a mail-in giveaway?
Mail in your entries and
Yeah.
stuff like that, like your box top from back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
How great would that be? Just every day we're
That's
just
hilarious.
opening up. Yeah, I'll open them up live. That'd be a great live episode.
Could get the whole PO box stuff going. That
Yeah,
some other people
that's
do.
how we do it.
Send us your random stuff.
And that's
Nicholas,
how it'll
who's
be.
counting these entries?
Yeah, it'll be me.
I don't do math,
one
so,
box
We're
top.
counting them on stream.
Yeah, one box top is worth like 5 points. And it's all like the mail-in for like the cool stuff, like the cool toys, like the decoder rings. And
Yeah.
Each one is just
Oh
has
my
its own
God.
different level of points. That'd be cool.
Hey, this middle part of these fans don't spin. That's cool.
Yeah, Bentley wheels.
Spinners. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys send a
Yo,
totally
is
magic
J-Dog.
cards, we'll be okay.
Yo, it's J-Dog. Hey, as I've mentioned, it's in the title. Just retap that command. There you go. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I know you're a first timer. Glad to have you here. Hope you stick around and enjoy it. And so I do want to ask a couple different things. First of all, as you can see right here, I'm so great. Go back to the airflow. You've got 4 intakes on the back, right? That's when pushing air across that front, the glass array, right? You've got your angled triple fan setup down on the bottom. That's going to come up to create that circular motion. The exhaust on the top and the dual exhaust on the back means that you have got 7 intake fans and you have 5 exhaust fans. That creates a thing called a positive pressure environment. Paul?
Yeah, so this case has a ton of airflow. 12 total case fans. Like DJ mentioned, we do have this set up in a positive airflow environment, positive pressure, which is what we want. So we have more air coming in than we do leaving, and that just means all the air that's coming in is going to go through the right filters. We got this mesh filter back here, and then one in the bottom as well, and that's what we are going for.
One thing to note here is the way that the system is angled. So when you've got something with feet like this, but it does have an angle, where's the best place to put this?
So you got plenty of room on the bottom of this. So you could have this, you know, on carpet or really any floor that you've got. This thing will work good. Now we always tell people to stay away from that shag carpeting that we know so many of you have. So definitely stay away from that. But yeah.
Yeah, my great aunt had shag carpeting forever.
Bless her heart.
Forever. She's also the same person who had the police knock on her door.
Because of the shag carpeting? They were like, this
No,
this
because
is
she
illegal.
had found seeds in her garage that apparently my cousin left. And she planted them in order. And
Wildflowers.
Beautifully perfect, like symmetrically, evenly spaced stalks of marijuana. And the cops came by and were like, what is this? She's like, I don't know. My cousin, my nephew left it for me.
Yeah, I've heard that before. She knew what she was doing.
And they confiscated. Well, luckily she lives in Seattle, but you know, or in Washington where it's legal. But you can't grow the plants out in front of the house. You have to have it in a protected area. So like
there's
you
still
can
shame
transplant them to your
associated with
backyard.
this. Put this in your backyard.
Yeah. Put it in your backyard. There we go.
Okay, let's do.
It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my life. You know, what's not funny though is screwing up your cable management. So I want to jump over to Zach real fast. So Zach, there's 2 different sets of things that you do in this case. You start with the case cables, and then you go with the what would you call it?
So I like separating all cases into 3 genres. You have your case cables, which is going to be your front panels, your USB headers, and all HD audios and all that fun stuff. Another rung of cables is going to be what I'm working on right now, and this is our fan cables. And our last cables, which I've halfway through done, are our power cables, all of our power supply cables. By kind of dividing, we can easily conquer, like Napoleon in the Roman charge, and easily take out all of the, who were they? The demigods. Yeah.
Oh my lord.
We could be like
The
Caesar.
Magorgon.
Yeah, the demigorgs.
The salad?
Thousand
Here we go.
Island.
Oh, one thing, listen, there are 1,001 islands now. One thing I want to point out about the board, you can notice the board isn't actually sitting directly against the back of the case. This is what we consider a 3/5 build. And that's where it sits. So it's not completely on the back. That provides extra space for cable management. Paul, how does this help?
It gives you room for the power supply that you can see up top and extra cable management space. It's really overall just a general aesthetic of the build.
Nice. You can also see that there's obviously where the power supply is on the very, very top. You get all the cables all in there. I do want to give a huge shout out to GameDS because as a GameDS 1300 watt Helios P180 plus gold power supply. What kind of a power supply is it, Paul?
So this is a modular power supply.
Oh, is there something other than modular?
You have modular, non-modular, and semi-modular. So modular that we're using
what's
here,
the
all the
difference?
cables are not soldered in, so they're all extras. So you just plug in the ones you need. You'll have extras. So I put all the extras in the accessory bags when the customer gets it. If they need those, if they upgrade their build in the future, they'll have them. The advantages of going modular is it makes your life easier when you're plugging everything in and tying it all up. You don't have any extra cables that you've got to worry about bundling up and all that.
L Pro. All you have to do is follow the link that is expressed in the title. It's exclamation AMD giveaway. Or you can scroll up. It also works. Where would you be without fan hubs? Yes. Woo duck.
Back in the 2000s.
Oh gosh. That would be scary.
Yes, we're technically still in the 2000s.
But then we would have some
but you know what I mean.
sweet UV fan plates.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going back.
Take me back.
Take me back.
That's what they need to do.
I-
They need to remake the Back to the Future series, but it's just bringing back all of the old tech that died.
Right.
It's like, oh man, this is cool. And someone
over and
goes
play
back and they're like,
Dreamcast.
I like 8 tracks. We're bringing that back. And then and we're shutting the program down.
Yep. If you need 8 tracks, you also need help. Every time you type, I smile a bit. Rise and shine, first time member. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. Yeehaw. Hello, Smokey over there on the kick side. What's up? Okay, so now something to pay attention to is how this cable management has gone, because with 12 fans, that's a lot. So how do you organize those?
So I really enjoy starting on my exhaust fan. Now, the fact that the NV7 has 2 exhaust fans, we're going to start on the lower one. And then we just kind of like going in a circle around the whole case, labeling each fan its own specific number, and then plugging them in. Now, we are dealing with 2 hubs, so we can plug in 6 more fans if we wanted to get real crazy about this build. I don't know where we'd put those. I can only think of 3 fans that we could put.
Yeah.
Unless we all of a sudden just wanted to,
Like double stack them.
Yeah. Let's put a Liquid Supreme graphics card in here and pull everything.
Oh wow, that would be wild. Actually,
That's what.
This is a 2 fan.
Oh,
Could
yeah.
you mount the 2 fan to the back 2 exhausts?
Oh yeah.
Holy
That would be
cow, that would
real
be
cool.
fantastic. That's amazing.
Someone order it.
And genius.
We'll do it.
Yeah, I want the O11 distro plate with the Oracle print on it and black lights in it. That is what I would love. Okay. Now, one thing I do want to point out, as you can see from this angle right there, notice how you can't see the entire back I/O shield for the motherboard. It's because there are little pins, little fingers that help with cable management. So when you plug in your HDMI or plug in everything else, you can use those combs. Can you point those out real quick, Paul? You can use those to help redirect your cables and to make them easier to utilize. And there's even more on the bottom, and we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. So, as you can see, we've got the hard drives all installed. Backplate is gone. And now.
Let me just power these bad boys, and we can
Make sure
drop
it's
that
got the power.
graphics card.
Giggity, giggity, goo. Pandemonium, says Cat Dad. Nice. The Great Danes met our neighbor's cat
On purpose?
yesterday, and they barked so loud that cat flipped out. The problem was they were backing up as they were barking. They were terrified.
Gotta
And
hold your
understand,
ground,
like,
bro.
people, I've got Great Danes. One of them is 210 pounds. Like, these are giant dogs, and it broke him. Astro just wanted to sniff it. Alfie just didn't know what it was and freaked out. No. Billy Flipper says, I need AMD. Yes.
There.
I mean, you know that.
So
Listen,
then we want
I will only
this
stream on AMD. Love me some AMD.
over there. Let me get my RGBs plugged in, and then we could do
The RG Hoosies? Yes. All right. Now we're going to finally get that graphics card punched in there. We're getting so close to being done. It's grand.
Can you guess the color
The color of the what?
of the fans when it turns on?
It's that smooth rainbow
Guess
effect.
that color.
The white case with the
blue.
black PSU. Sturbix was like, The upside is you can't see the actual PSU from the back of the PC because, as you'll notice right there, Paul, can you point out all the little fingers, little channels right down there on the bottom?
All the little fingers.
Those. That's all for cable management. So everything that comes out gets directed down and goes through there for a very clean and even distribution of where they need to be plugged in. And there's a door on the back that means you can't even see the power supply at all. Okay, here we go. Now we've got time for our graphics card. That's right, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070 by PNY. When installing a graphics card, what are some really important things to keep in mind?
Step one, we want to make sure that our PCI lane is not blocked with anything. Having thermal paste and sticking it into this slot is not how you overclock your processor, just so you guys know. That is all done in the BIOS. So
You made me
make sure
almost
nothing
flip
is
out
in
just
there.
like that.
And then we've got our IOs, and we want to make sure that that's clean too. And then when we set it down, it should just set nice and pretty and lock in place.
And then you screw it in.
Zach, we need to do that for a test. Like,
Right.
we need to put thermal paste all over the RAM sticks, every
yep.
slot, in our USB headers.
Yup,
Idea.
Okay.
be a good one. Terms
And I believe that is, we're nearing completion here.
and then the
Pretty
last
close.
things last are sag brackets. Once we
Oh, an
Power this
anti-sag
thing.
bracket. What is an anti-sag bracket?
An anti-sag bracket gives the GPU support on the other side from where it's screwed in. So as GPUs have gotten bigger, they tend to sag over time, as we all do. But these graphics cards have support. So you don't want your GPU to sag and cause damage to your PCIe slots or your video card itself. A lot of cases are coming with a built-in one now,
Oh.
so that's what this one does. You'll see Zach put it in a minute.
Ah, that's hilarious. Well, we're just getting our power in there. Do, boom. So just so you guys know, Zach is meticulous with his cable management. It doesn't matter whether he's on an RTS system or his Cho system. He is absurdly dedicated to the actual final appearance of the system. Oh, this is the bar that Paul was talking about that has the LED in it. Paul?
Yeah, so these are our light strips that are built in. They also cover up some of those cables. You can see the one there that Zach popped in. Just nice extra lighting elements. Another thing I like about this case.
Nice. Nice.
You can see the top one going in right now.
They do help. Uh-huh. All right.
These just snap in. There's no screws or anything like that needed to hold them in.
It looks so clean. All right. Now, for something that's so clean, I want to take you to some place that's going to show you how you can get something this clean on your own from CLXGaming.com. Let's head over to the website.
2 seconds.
At CLXGaming.com, we try and make it as easy as possible for you to get the PC of your dreams. And basically, CLXGaming.com is a one-stop shopping center. So, first of all, let's start with the chassis. We've got full-size RAWs. We've got sets, scarabs, and Horuses. That means we've got everything from full-size PC frames like this to small ITX ones. And we've got dozens of them. Some of them are decorated. You could actually do custom decorations on yours if you want to, like, design it for your stream or your content creation, your business. It's all a thing. Heading over to, oh yeah, you can use your fans and your lighting in there. Heading over to the core components, we've got everything you can think of. Intel, AMD, Radeon, NVIDIA, even ARC, all right? CPUs and GPUs, and the best part is you can't screw it up. I know everybody's like, but I'll screw it up. No, not necessarily. And so when you see that the button that was green is now turned yellow, it's to solve conflict. So we're gonna go ahead and click that real fast. And it's basically saying, listen, the power supply you've got isn't strong enough for the graphics card you've got. So you can either choose one of these power supplies that'll work with that graphics card, or you're gonna have to work with one of these graphics cards that'll actually be working with that power supply. Once you solve the problem, ta-da! That little yellow button goes back to green, and there you go. And here you can order. You can figure out what kind of RAM you want. You can figure out whether you want cable ties, or cable covers, which is fantastic. If you want an extra like that, there we go. Power supply sleeve cables, different colors. I have a set of white ones. And then of course you've got your OS drive where you can add more memory. Plus you've got your add-ons beyond that. Then we've got the Foundry. Now, the Foundry is a fun little tab to play with because you get to choose what kind of cooling you want, whether you want an AIO or open, whether you want to upgrade your thermal paste for your CPU, and then whether or not you want to overclock your GPU or your CPU or both. We can do it all right there. And now we get to my favorite tab, and it's called the Accessories tab. So, first thing on it, you'll get a chance to get yourself a t-shirt, a hoodie, a windbreaker, all with CLX Gaming on it. We love CLX. That's what we do. You can get that right there. Now, this is where it becomes all no holds barred. This is what happens. You want a keyboard? We've got keyboards. You want a mouse? We got mice. Or mouses. Is it it doesn't matter. We have and then controllers, like for gaming controllers, flight controllers, driving controllers, headsets from some top tier partners. And then you've got microphones. Now here's a fun thing for anybody who's a content creator. We have Beacon mics and Beacon mix creates along with things from HyperX and more. So definitely check that out. Other than that, we have speakers, monitors, in PC digital displays. We even carry routers and chairs. So, that being said, I know it's a lot of information. It's super overwhelming. So I'm going to take you to one other place that we do have, and that's called our RTS section, or Ready to Ship. Ready to Ship PCs are assembled there in warehouse, on site. They are tested rigorously, just like any custom-built PC. They come in 4 flavors. There is the beginning, mid-range, ultra, and then high end, and then super ultra high performance. There we go. You'll follow the lineage. The best part about this is because you get to see what the price point is for what you're trying to build, and it gives you a good idea of, all right, this is what I want, but maybe I want to change something, maybe I want to alter something. You can go ahead and alter that once you get there. They come in all shapes and sizes, and they're looking for a home, and who knows, you might be the next one that they use. So with that being said, for all of your PC needs, whether it's corporate, gaming, or otherwise, head on over to CLX Gaming. see what we can do for you today. There we go. Oh, I can already see the LEDs in the bottom of that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My only recommendation would have been to have gone with a white graphics card instead. But let's see how it looks. Here we go. Boop. Wow,
so
that
much
is
light.
so bright. So much light.
Looks awesome.
Good grief. That looks fantastic, and it's going to have its own little lighting array. Let's talk about what goes into this once again. It is a CLX Raw NV7 with an Intel Core and i7 14700KF. It's got a CLX Quench 360 AIO that is all mounted on an ASRock Z790 Steel Legend Wi-Fi motherboard. Two 48 gig sticks, a DDR5 6000, an RTX 5070, a 2 terabyte 8 data gold M.2, 12 Game DS fans, and a Game DS 1300 watt Helios P180 plus gold power supply. Let's go. I like it. I like it. That's so bright too. So this show happens in two parts. In just a few minutes, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, you're going to get to spend the afternoon with Zach as he continues building more PCs. And who knows, you may find more codes. This show happens every Tuesday and Thursday, starting at 11 a.m. Pacific. That's 2 Eastern. On Tuesdays, we're here on YouTube, Kick, and especially Twitch. On Thursdays, we're exclusively on TikTok. So you don't want to miss those shows. Definitely an opportunity, which is fantastic. So whether wanting to find out what the latest and greatest is with all of our socials, or just looking for codes, you can head on over to CLX Gaming. That is YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. You can head over to our Discord, which is discord.gg/CLX Gaming. And for codes and stuff, you can also come to my stream with DJ Blue PDX on Twitch. So, that being said, great job. I'm sure that Aiden is going to be fantastically happy about it. Before we go, though, I forgot to mention one thing. Paul, I mentioned that systems get tested. What does that mean?
So that means after it's built and turned on like this one here, it goes to our testing and integration department. And the first thing we do there is get into the BIOS of the machine. We'll make sure our RAM speed is set correctly. All of our storage devices are showing up. If you opt for overclocking, that's where we would do that as well. And once your BIOS is set, we load the system. So your operating system gets loaded. If you picked any games on our website, we'll load those there. But other than that, nothing else gets loaded on these machines. It's just a fresh install of your operating system. And then we test the system for 12 hours, make sure everything's stable. That way, when you get it at home, you can just get right to gaming.
There we go. So with that little piece of information, on behalf of Kyle and Jason in production, Paul and Zach, I'm DJ Blue PDX. Stick around. We've got more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
Hi, Hashim. Goodbye, Hashim.
Bye. What is up? Welcome back, Scooby Gang. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. I hope you guys are ready for an amazing week. We got a pretty fun one starting here. So yeah, let's go ahead and crack into it. Today I have an AMD Ryzen 7 7800X3D. We've got a 240 liquid cooler. That is a white one with an RGB cap on it. Our motherboard today is brought to you by MSI. This is X670E Gaming Plus Wi-Fi. Very nice board. We also have a grand total of 32 gigabits of 6,000 megahertz of DDR FOOMF. This is a very nice, very fast system. We've got a 2 terabyte NVMe. That is a pretty sweet ADATA. The 800 Gold, the Legend 800. It's a pretty cool one. Our graphics come to us all the way from the MSI group. This is a 8 gigabyte 5060. This is very, very fun DDR6 level. We are shoving all this into a very cool metallic gear. This is the Cube Mirror Edition, so we have a pretty fun front panel going on here. Once we get it glowing up, we'll be able to really tell what that mirror is all about. And if we can ask it, mirror, mirror, who's got the coolest computer of them all? Our fans today come to us from the Game DS guys. These are the M2s in black. I do enjoy these. We just installed some white ones in the NV7 earlier. Very, very cool. Very nice. Super bright. And our power is also from the Game DS group. This is a 750 Kratos. I do believe that means we have RGB. Yes, it is an RGB power supply. So that means our power will glow as well. It's pretty cool. All right, we do have a Groupon going on right now for a giveaway. So if you find any codes here, there, anywhere, you could possibly get a pretty cool Mafia Edition computer. It's partnered with AMD and Mafia. It's a pretty fun one, pretty good one. These cube cases are really nice, really small. They're kind of like a mini full-size ITX. So I said ITX, I meant ATX. Wow. Okay, so they're like a smaller full-size. You know, if you can make that happen. It's a small full-size, which means that we can fit a full 360 liquid cooler in here. We can fit a full tower ATX motherboard, and we could probably fit a pretty big graphics card in here. The one thing we can't fit in here is a super big heat sink from Be Quiet or Noctua. That is because if we get a side camera angle here or straight on here, we can look and see this exhaust port back here is not big enough to hold a fan. So that means there's no fan that goes in here, so it is a little bit on the shorter side. What does that mean? That means that we are limited to what kind of cards we can stick in there and heat distribution devices we can stick in there. But we're just gonna make this all look pretty. What's going on, United States? How are you today? Not worldwide. Oh man, that's a pretty lot of people. Hab Spaß viel Glück to whoever wants to partake in that competition. Okay, so what I do with every case, I do all the time on all cases. I take all of my panels off. If there's some like dust magnets in my way, I'm gonna want those out of there as well. And then I am cutting all my little zip ties or whatever, little twist ties for my case cables. Case cables are a very nice cable to deal with. As you can see, we've got a plethora in this machine. This is one of the machines that has a lot inside it, so there's a lot to deal with. You really want to make sure everything goes to its proper house. So what I recommend doing, if this is our first time building a PC and we've got a pretty sweet motherboard manual, or not motherboard manual, case manual with our case, crack it open. I had it earlier. It's this right here, this little nice sheet of paper is what this comes with. Sometimes they come with a book, but this is going to be like, bam, we got all these different color modes in here. Boom, this is how you open it up. Oh, you have storage and you want to know how your storage is laid out? You can lay out your storage 3 different ways. That's kind of crazy. This is how your motherboard lays out. That's where your power supply goes. We flip it over here. We can see how they want other things laid out. This is kind of a crazy cool case where you can have 2 systems inside it. But we're just gonna go ahead and do some nice fancy cable straightening. As with everything, we like all of our cables to be nice and neat. This is a pretty easy way to make sure that when we go into our tie-up mode, that everything will look good in tie-up. It's like doing all those little prepping things. It's you're making the omelet, but how are you making the omelet? Are you frying your bacon up first so that it gets all nice and crispy for your omelet? Or are you just sticking raw bacon in with your eggs and frying it up that way? To each their own, but I'm gonna crispy up my bacon first, and then we're gonna crispy it up so much that I can just break it apart in my fists. That's how I like cooking bacon. If I'm adding it into something, I want it to be extra crispy. Alright, and our zip tie. This is our last one. So most cases have a pretty basic line of this is how they all run. This is where your cables go. For the most part, if you just kind of follow the chute of tie downs, you are in the right spot. Okay, so our case is done. We're gonna drop it out of the way. We don't need to see it until we get all these parts opened up and put together. X670. It's a really nice board from the MSI guys. If you're entertained in the black, silver, and teal, right up your alley. Right up it. Then we're going to shove in this 7800. This is the X3D variant. This is a pretty nice proc. Procs always are pretty easy to drop in. We just want to match the corner that has its key on it with the corner on the motherboard, and just gently set it down there. If you're forcing it down there, it's probably not the right socket, or there's probably something in the way. Then we are going to go ahead and peel off the factory retention kit. It's been around for a long time, many generations of AMD's processors, but we don't need it for this kit. This kit comes with the standoffs, so we want to install the standoffs. So these standoffs are AMD standoffs. So that means we could set this up AM4 or AM5. This motherboard, AM5, we want to make sure we set it up AM5. If we're on an Intel board, oh ho ho boy okey. Are we on a 1700? Are we on a 1200? Are we on a 115X? Are we on a 2066 or is it 2099? I don't know. There's a lot on AMD, so we just want to make sure that we select the proper equipment. Okay, now we have our heatsink or our liquid cooler, our all-in-one that we're going to be installing. Before we go ahead and slap this onto our proc, we want to make sure, bam, that's paste right there of the thermal kind. It's not the toothpaste, it's the thermal paste. And so we can go ahead and drop that over. Now, let's say we are wanting to overclock our machine. Okay, well, you can do that. You can go out to weekend rally races or weekend autocross races with your car, have it filled up with oil from Walmart. But if we wanted to perform exceptionally well that weekend with our non-race car, we'd, up that ante and put in some premium oil. Maybe attach some brand new rubbers to the tires. So if we are wanting to do overclocking on our machine, it would kind of make sense to have thermal paste that would allow us to hit lower lows. So if you just want your system to idle at a lower temp, that is another way to have nice thermal paste in our machine. If we're going to be gaming for a real long time, having nice thermal paste in our machine is nice. You don't have to. I certainly have sat down in front of my computer for extremely long amounts of time and didn't have anything super fancy in there, and it rocked just fine. And then we just get to do some nice holding. Hi, what's the price of this computer I am building? Oh man, that's the one thing I did not go and check today. I didn't think anybody would ask. I've been going and getting that info the past couple weeks, and the one time I don't, I need it. You know what? I would like to give you a guesstimate of a price, but the last time I did that, I was like $1,000 off because I forgot, like one part was like, oh yeah, that part right there is at least like $700. Give me 2 seconds. I will message somebody. Where did my paper go? Do. Price, please. Oh, nope. 25616. Bam. All right. I will, Fanjo, I will answer that question if I get messaged back. It all depends. Sometimes we're all too busy to look at our messages because we're cranking them out so much. Oh man, this was DDR5 memory, right? Yeah, that's how easy DDR5 goes in. DDR4 is like crazy. Man, I dropped my freaking screwdriver this morning and put a big dent in it now. Gotta love when stuff gets used properly. Hopping out of my truck and it just falls out. Yes, perfect. Going from the 33-inch lift all the way to the ground. Hard. All right, and this is a 2000 gigabit, aka a 2 terabyter. What's up, Vin? How are you today? Okay, some NVMe's are really cool and they come with their own proprietary heatsink. It's real pretty. The only time I would recommend installing it is if your motherboard does not have a heatsink. I have done a dummy move before and grabbed both heatsinks from the order, went ahead and slapped that onto one because my motherboard was naked, but that one was going on to a different part of the board and it needed that removed, so that was a little tricky trying to peel those off without breaking an NVMe drive. But we just want to peel all of our peels. What's the difference between Dance Dance Revolution 4 and Dance Dance Revolution 5? Dance Dance 5 has a lot better songs in it. Dance Dance 4 had the better beat pad. But the biggest difference is going to be the speed. I believe the fastest DDR4 is like 3600 speed, and like the slowest DDR5 is like 3800 speed. Like, it's kind of crazy how much like just doubled down. It's kind of like the NVMEs on Gen 4 to Gen 5. It literally doubled how fast it read writes. Like, it's kind of crazy how fast these are. Because like these, and then you also have your weights. So like this is a 16 gig 6000. That's like, I think right now 64 is the highest that we install. We don't install that often. That's a little bit more of a, hey, I want that. Like, but 6000 is like the highest that we have right now. And the weight is 8. But like, if you watched our episode earlier, we installed 96 gigs on 2 sticks. So like just the size and the speeds are just double the amount of what a 4 was. So that's kind of some of the difference that a non-tech person, how I'd be able to explain it to you. Beyond that, I'd have to ask Paul or one of our testers to tell me the price, but you have to use whenever your motherboard calls. Nice. Okay, and this is a 5060, 8 gigs. This is a pretty cool card. 2. The Shadow Ducks. That means it has 2 fans on it. This is a solitary 8-pin. Sure, yeah, that's a way to put it. I would put it as DDR3 is a Volkswagen Beetle, DDR4 is a Ford Mustang, DDR5 is a Porsche GT3. That's how I would put it. You're just getting faster and faster along the way. And on the back, I forgot there was a back peel on this guy too, because extra nice. Extra clean. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and grab our case. Oh man. Excuse me. There's just Sorry guys, this part of our break is sponsored by Mafia. And this part of our break is sponsored by Buc-ee's. DDR1 is the old dude on the walker, and DDR2 is a guy on a big wheel bicycle. Bam! That's pretty good. That's accurate. Highly accurate. 100% how they work. All right. Let's continue getting this thing done so that we can play video games. That's all anybody ever wants to do right now, right? Let's just log on and play some game. Pew, 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 pew. All right. So all of our standoffs are in. We just want to populate all of our main ATX slots. Super easy. This is a 9 board. Most of them are 9 boards. If we're on a ASRock board, then we would possibly have a 7th or a 10th hole, and that sits right down here. Do you change your personal setup every week? Do I change my personal setup every week? I don't have a personal setup, so no, I do not change it every week. Haha, joke's on me. I got nothing.